now go to GN Bank itself. GN Bank itself. And people, please understand that it didn't come easy. Starting this financial services company did not come easily at all. So when there's a problem and I'm reacting a certain way, do understand, because we have worked, we have sacrificed. We first registered the company. The company at that time, we called it First National Savings and Loans. We first registered that company in 1997. In 1997, we had wanted Provident Insurance Company at that time to be a co-shareholder, but the National Insurance Commission at that time wouldn't allow it. So PIC couldn't be a part of it. But Coconut Grove, one of our hotels, was the inaugural shareholder, and later on, others joined, especially when we became GN Bank. One of those people or organizations that joined was a George Soros. Many of you have heard about George Soros. A George Soros company invested in GN Bank, and so at the time that its license was revoked, George Soros's organization was a shareholder in GN Bank. And again, let us understand something. Nobody gifted us anything, because I would travel from time to time, and Dr. Agama was the governor of the central bank in the 1990s, 1997, when we were looking for the license. I'd go to the Bank of Ghana. He would look at me and say, "Hey, gentlemen, you've come back again." We traveled, we walked and worked. We hired people to do studies for us, and so on and so forth. So it took from 1997 until 2006 for us to get the license. And so, if I were to show you, this one that's here, this is the Certificate of Incorporation 1997 for First National Savings and Loans. Okay. This one, Certificate to Commence Business, this is 2006. So it took until that time investing in consultants and all sorts of things for us to get started. And when I also say for us to get started, in Ghana, it's many things. They take you through all manner of trials, but you have to be determined. You have to know what it is that you want to accomplish. And so that's how the beginnings came. And maybe I should also tell you that, and I can't give you certain specifics, but before we even registered in 1997 to start this company, First National Savings and Loans, we had wanted to acquire an existing savings and loans company. We even wrote a cashier's check to go and buy or acquire that existing company. But somebody whose name shall remain not said now, today, but in the future, we will mention it. Someone who was an authority went and took that business from us. So we had to start from scratch. So what we started, it was from scratch. 9 years later, we started First National. And First National, we started small. Its office, head office in the first branch, if you look behind the Coconut Grove Regency Hotel, there was a boys' quarters there. We took hotel employees and other people to clean it up, set it up for it to become the first branch of First National and the head office as well. And opened for business in 2006. What I also want you to understand is that when that company started, if you look at the first board of directors and all of that company, I was not a member of it. I was not a part of it. And you know why? I wasn't a part of it because at that time, I had become a minister of state in government. So I had to stay off and have other people get the business going and running. I also then want you to understand that it took us until, if you look back, this company, back in 2013, I want you to see all of this because, look, when I say certain things later on, I want you to understand me. Okay? I want you to understand that it took us years. But in 2013, let me just mention to you where we had reached out of that first branch situated somewhere in the boys' quarters, back in North Ridge in Accra. We starting from Abosokai, we went there. We went to Medina. We went to La Paz. We went to Elmina Isueshu, Elmina Chapel Square, Cape Coast Infantipim, Cape Coast Malcolm, went to Nkoko, to Nua Brim, Asante Achim. We went to Konongo. Konongo was one of my favorite places that we went to, one of the first favorite places. We were in Ring Road in Accra, in Kumasi, Edum branch. And Edum branch has a very interesting story there because when we went up north especially, many people would leave their monies with the branches in the northern part of the country and then travel without cash. Most of them went to the Edum branch in Kumasi to get their cash so that the monies will be safe, so that they wouldn't encounter armed robbery or any of those other kinds of things. So we by 2013, it started 2006, by 2013, August, we had gone to 72 locations. 72 locations. And virtually everywhere in Ghana, Asinfosu, Dunko, Nofin, Bogatanga, Shaman, Mokola, Pristia, Sunyani, Wa, in Pong, Wulensi, Gemini, in Dome, Agunam Kwanta in the western region, Hanili in the north, Savlubu, come back to Asebu, Hohoi, Garu, Zabila, Pusiga, Enyinase, in Saboba, in Tolong, Elubu, Swedru, Kaswa, all of these were on stream and more in 2013. So I want you to understand that's where we are. And again, before I get into, I'll get very quickly into the issues so that we can get to your questions soon. One of the things that we did was to have a target of financial inclusion, because at that time, maybe around in the 1990s, the point was that about 80% of the population was not included in the formal banking sector. I believe that we contributed to moving it to 50%, and now maybe it's around 30 or 25%. But the point is that with our not being on the scene, in many of the places that we used to be, Hameli, Pusiga, and so on and so forth, nobody else has gone there. No one. So we are basically retrogressing, going back to where there wasn't any safe place to put your money. And people, as we went around the country last week, people were now telling us that they are encountering armed robbers and people along the way because they are carrying cash to go and trade with. This is something we took care of, not just with our branches all over, but with our mobile money products, which were highly innovative at that time. Now, we also were the ones, because of financial inclusion, who introduced a product that we called Wodachi. And with that, you could actually open a Wodachi account with 50 pesos, and we paid you interest. We paid interest on an account that started with 50 pesos. In addition, we offered a savings account product that would give you 9% interest at that time, 9% interest. And in addition, we also gave you 1,000 Ghana cedis death benefit for funeral expenses if the unfortunate happened and the account holder passed away. We were the only ones that did that. because we believed in low margins, high volumes, and that became a very, very important and popular product. So we had a target that we wanted to hit 300 branches to be all around the country in every major market center and get 1 million customers or more. And do you know something? We achieved that 300 branch target in August of 2018. I hope you get the point I'm trying to make, is that we invested. We went looking for the land. We went to do all sorts of things all over the country that many people were not watching, were not paying attention. And then we had companies invest monies in putting up these branch locations. So when you see them, they all look alike. Yes. When you see them, we had the bigger ones that were in Wa and Hohoi, Asankragwa, Mankesim. Then we had the normal standard size branch. Then we have what we called the money store. And so we had different parts of them, bigger ones, smaller ones, micro ones, all to suit the need of the market where we had located ourselves. All of this we did, with our thoughts, our minds, and strategizing, because Ghana needed it, and Ghana still needs it. So anyone who touches anything like that, in my opinion, must not just look at me, the person sitting here, must not look at they sitting in Accra, but they should look at the person in Pusiga, in Germany, in Hameli, and all of those other places all over the country. It's important, an important point, because you do it to me, you do it to GN Bank, the economy slows down, development slows down, and I will explain a couple of other things further. So let's move on. Now, so what happened? What happened to GN Bank? Why is it that we've gone around the country last week and we are seeing buildings abandoned? It looks like somebody just went and put a padlock on some of these buildings and just walked away and left the buildings to rot, taking away all the valuable equipment, computers and whatever else, generators, vehicles. Some of them, we are told, have been auctioned under some cloudy circumstances. Nobody has come to tell the country that they are auctioning GN Bank assets. Nobody. When we ask people, everybody denies it. Okay, sometimes they say, "Oh, it's Ken Ofori who said we should do this." Where's the proof? I don't know. But we have videos of our items being auctioned in Mankesim and Edum and some other places. So you ask the receiver, where are those items? Maybe he can tell you, but we believe he can't, because they have sold some of them. Some of them have rotten because nobody maintained it. Imagine if you leave a car sitting somewhere for more than 4 years. What will happen to the car? Or air conditioning equipment, or computer? In 4 years, the computer is obsolete. It's obsolete. So let's get to the picture. So what happened? I want to tell you one thing to start that sort of discussion. And I take this very, very seriously. This letter that I'm showing, this letter came from the Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana didn't do this study. Bank of Ghana contracted the services of Ernst & Young, reputable public accounting firm, to do diagnostic studies into the valuation of loans and investments of banks in Ghana. This was done, started in 2015, later updated 31st October 2015, and this letter was written to GN Bank, 9th of March 2016. And this thing here, written to us by the Banking Supervision Department of Bank of Ghana itself, says that at the end of the exercise, your bank was assessed to hold adequate provision for your financial exposures. And it continues, you are advised to continue monitoring of your loans and investment portfolios to ensure that the quality does not deteriorate and to book appropriate provision when necessary. Then it says, we assure you of our continued cooperation and support in ensuring a safe and sound financial system. This was sent to us by the Banking Supervision Department of the Bank of Ghana. The question is, so from 2016, what happened? What happened for us to end up in the situation in what we were seeing last week? What happened? Some of the things I can tell you, some of the other ones will wait for another time, but let me give you the basics. All of the issues have had to do with receivables from the government of Ghana and its agencies such as Cocoa Board, Get Fund, Ministry of Works and Housing, Ministry of Roads and Highways, and that today totals more than 7 billion Ghana cedis, not old cedis, more than 7 billion Ghana cedis, including interest. And what is bad about it is that in 2018, we engaged the Ministry of Finance in extensive communication. We have the emails, we have the letters, they are all there. And what we were doing was to show them the total portfolio of debt and infrastructure projects that our companies had pre-financed. And some people, sometimes they ask me a question, oh, so why did you give your money to government contractors? My friend, individuals, you give a loan to an individual. Oh, they might come back and say, oh, I have defaulted because I couldn't carry on with my business. But we all know in Ghana that what Ghana needs the most is adequate infrastructure, schools, bridges, roads, hospitals, and all of that. We decided to put a good chunk of customers' money there. And anyone who is saying any strange things, listen, prior to 2017, we did not have a problem getting monies back. We pre-finance contractors and we chose Ghanaian contractors. Some of them are names that you know. If you hear the name Kofi Job, he has done work for different administrations. He still does work today in Ghana for the current administration. If Kofi Job will tell you the truth, we help put him in business, and he's a good contractor. They will do the work, they will get their certificates, and they'll be paid. We will get our money. Our customers will come to demand their funds. We'll give it to them. None of our customers, not Gold Coast or Black Shield, not GN Bank, had any issue going to any of our offices to look for money, and they couldn't get it prior to 2017. It didn't happen because the system worked. And, after every election, a new administration or another comes, and they slow down on payments to contractors. But then they'll pick up steam and they'll start paying. And look, those who think I don't know what I'm talking about, I was a member of the Akufo administration that changed the rules. That administration changed the rules because it said contractors, they'll give them advance payment. Some of them will mess it up and go and buy all sorts of other things with the money instead of doing the work. So they said, go to a financial institution, get money from them, do a portion of the work. Let's come and supervise and review it. When we like what you have done, we'll give you a certificate and we'll pay you. And if we don't pay you within 90 days, interest will start accumulating. And then they also said, if we stop a project that you are doing, we will owe you the monies that you have put in. Even if they cancel it, they will owe you that. And the interest that accumulates is interest that is prescribed by the Bank of Ghana. These were the rules, and it was working. It was working until in 2017, a decision was made that they were going to review all contracts in Ghana, all contracts. Well, that review was done. And as far as we know, none of the contracts we have pre-financed was found to be at fault or not to work. And we know some of this because some of the same contractors that we had pre-financed prior to 2017 had been given new contracts and they were being paid. So why were the contracts that we had pre-financed, why wouldn't they be paid? So we talked. And indeed, that meeting with the then finance minister, Ken Ofori Atta, and his assistant, Charles Edubwahin. And the advice was, okay, let's take that portfolio, go and get that portfolio audited by an independent accounting firm. We did that. They came back with values at that time of about 1.8 billion Ghana cedis. Out of that money, we said, pay us some 300 million Ghana cedis. That's all. Just pay us a portion of it so we can take care of our customers. The bank customers, the Gold Coast Black Shield customers. That's all. And we have all of this in writing. We had all of this in writing. All the communication, everything. And you know something? At some point in all of this, the Minister of Finance signed a letter to the Bank of Ghana in 2018 to tell the governor of the Bank of Ghana that what they had reviewed to that point was about 640 million Ghana cedis. That letter is there, the Bank of Ghana. The Ministry of Finance has a copy. The governor has a copy. Others have copies. There are some individuals in the country too who have copies. It's there. Let someone come and tell me that I'm not telling the truth. Okay? So they didn't pay. And let me tell you one more thing. I'm not going to show you everything here today, but just to make the point. Here is a communication. Okay? Here is communication. Signed by Nana Bediatu Asante, Secretary to the President, to the Minister of Finance. And it says, this is 24th May 2019. The title says Group Nduom Contractors. Okay, it says Group Nduom Contractors. Okay? And what it is saying is that you are respectfully reminded to initiate payments due contractors who finance some projects that were undertaken by some ministries, departments, and agencies, MMDAs. You will recall that at the recent cabinet meeting, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo, requested for update on validated projects, especially those that were executed by contractors who took monies from GN Savings and Loan Company Limited and Gold Coast Fund Management, all entities of Group Nduom owned by Dr. Paa Kwesi Nduom. Then it goes on. It says, this has become necessary because of the intelligence picked up by national security that any further delays in paying monies due Group Nduom and its affiliates to enable them pay their customers and clients will affect our electoral fortunes in the 2020 general elections, particularly in the central region. So everybody understood that indeed you pay us, we pay our customers. our tune hasn't changed. Pay the contractors, pay us, we pay our customers. Now, if everybody knew this, why did they then, knowing that the state and its agencies owed us, why did they harass us like this? Why did they go and spread all sorts of things for customers to rush on us, to demand their funds? Which financial institution can survive a rush on them? Which one? Data Bank? No. Fidelity? No. GCB? No. Nobody. No one. And instead of solving the problems, today you will hear a minister of so and so saying, some banks are going to collapse. You will hear the vice president. He said some of it. You hear people from the central bank saying, if you can't bring money, then your bank will go away. Why? A bank that they themselves knew and still know today was owed by government and its agencies. If a debt to government is not good, what debt is good in Ghana? Why do people look for sovereign guarantee when they are giving us monies or when they are coming to do projects in Ghana? It's because everybody believes that you give money to government, it must come back. And let nobody also think that we give all of our monies for government contracts. You know, when all this crisis came, we paid more than 600 million Ghana cedis back to customers. And when it got hot, we even did barter because we produced televisions in Ghana. Some people, we gave them televisions. We built houses in Ghana. Some people, we gave them houses. We build refrigerators. We give people refrigerators in exchange for their money. So let nobody come and say we took their money and we put all of it to government contractors. No, but the biggest chunk went to where it is safe. It's to them. So the money is not in my pocket. It's not here. It's not there. The money is with them. So let them pay the money. They pay the money. We are all fine. Finally, I'll just show you one thing here. This is dated July 26th, 2018. As I said, I have many of these documents, and they are not just in Ghana. We have put them everywhere. There are many more. There are many more. This one is as a result of this memorandum submitted by the Minister of Finance at that time, Mr. Kenneth Kuntunkununku Ofori, to ask Cabinet to agree for GN Bank to be collapsed, for its license to be taken. I have read this memorandum. This memorandum doesn't consider that it was the biggest bank with the widest distribution network in Ghana. It didn't consider that we were providing monies that was banking services that was increasing financial inclusion in Ghana. It didn't recognize that we were supporting financial development, economic development in Ghana. Didn't recognize all of those things. It just said, these people, they are causing us problems. And therefore, it might affect our political chances, so let's shut it down. What led to the liquidity crisis? He refused to pay us. He paid others. He refused to pay our contractors. And they thought that maybe if they paid the money would come to me. And I've been telling people everywhere, that money, it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to customers. I've even said before, in writing to Jubilee House, that if you don't want to pay me, let's sit down and agree who is owed and pay them directly. Pay them directly. What is left, you give to us. Why wouldn't they mind us? Why would they even don't want to talk to me? Why? And this thing, look, after Mr. Ofori sent his memorandum to Cabinet, you know that according to what I'm holding here, Cabinet did not agree that they should collapse GN Bank. Let me read to you what Cabinet said. It says, Cabinet at its 36th meeting held on Thursday, 19th July 2018, considered a report of the Cabinet Committee on Economic Matters on the above memorandum submitted by the Minister for Finance. The memorandum requested Cabinet to consider and approve the revocation of the license of GN Bank as it was found to be in distress and unable to meet the new minimum capital requirement. However, Cabinet resolved that the Minister of Finance and Bank of Ghana should continue to engage the shareholders and management of the bank on the way forward so as to ensure confidence in the ongoing banking sector reforms in the country. I would be grateful if you could take action on the decision by Cabinet. And this was sent to the Honorable Minister for Finance and to the Governor of Bank of Ghana from Cabinet. So what happened? Who decided not to comply with the decision made by Cabinet? Who? And then when we were in the difficulties, I sat down personally with the governor, the Bank of Ghana, and he said, Paa Kwesi, look, save us all some grief. Why don't you accept to apply for a reclassification to become a savings and loans company? So we solved the minimum capital issue. And then we'll work to see if you can get your monies back from government agencies. When that is done, then you can come back and get your universal license back. Why did I believe him? Because the governor was and still is a member of the board of directors for Cocoa Board, one of the people that owe us for pre-financing cocoa roads in Ghana. So we did it. And in January 2019, they gave us a new license as a savings and loans company. So why is it that we didn't even finish the 6 months that they gave us to transform ourselves to savings and loan? Then one day, all of a sudden, license revoked. What happened? What happened? What happened? So let me stop there. And if you have a question that you want to ask, please put it on this, and I will answer your question for you. And you know what I have been saying to people. You know, when you have worked, I haven't taken anybody's money. I started these businesses with my own savings from working from 1975 in the United States. I've continued to be here. Some people even walk around saying, he took monies from shareholders or from customers to America to buy a bank. Look, we started the process of acquiring a bank in Chicago in 2014. And in 2015, you know, we paid our money. And then in 2016, we started way before a new administration even came. And none of our customers had any issues in Ghana. And I have been working as a partner with US-based Deloitte and Touche. Nobody's money is in my pocket. Nobody's money is in my pocket. So somebody is asking the question, will you come back or stand in politics for president? Gentlemen, look, right now, where I am, I'm 71 years old. I see what is going on in Ghana. And for me, my biggest issue is the investments that have been made, huge investments, that I want them back. That's why I've started this campaign. This is an economic campaign. It's a jobs campaign. So that's what I'm campaigning for. Definitely, I want someone to become president who will see that what we're doing is valuable, and support us. Just as America supports its small banks, supports its small banks, and does all sorts of things in communities that are distressed, so they can see economic development, see what America is like. Okay? So, no, I'm not contesting any position in this year's election. What I'm contesting is to be able to get our money back so that we can get the jobs back. That will, for me, be a greatest accomplishment. Is to give thousands of Ghanaians their jobs back. Their jobs back. What did they do to anybody for someone to make them poor, destitute, and can't get the valuable jobs that they had back? Me, I don't have a problem. I've retired in the US, I've retired in Ghana. I get some small monies every month. I can survive. I don't need anybody's money. But as I tell people all over the country, when God has given you, something good, yours is not to go and sleep somewhere and say, I've got mine. Everybody should fend for themselves. Not everybody can fend for themselves. So mine is to help somebody's mother, somebody's father, somebody's grandson, grandchild, somebody's husband or wife to also get theirs. That's what I'm fighting for. That's what I'm fighting for. And some people think Accra is Ghana. Accra is not Ghana. Politics has taught me that Ghana, there are some places when I go in Ghana, I weep. I call them the forgotten Ghana. And even some of those areas in forgotten Ghana, we went there. We went to Wolensi. How many people know Wolensi? We went there. Forgotten Ghana. And we put a bank there. You should come and see enjoyment. There was one chief that we went to in another part of the north who said, his dream has been accomplished. We should even bring the bank and put the bank in his palace, so everybody can see that it's during his reign that a universal bank came to his town. That's what I derive enjoyment from. So I'm not here to throw dirt on anybody. I'm not here to argue, to insult anybody. No. I'm here to ask for what is due our companies and what is due the customers. That's what I'm here for. And I've waited all this long because I've been going through administrative procedures, writing petitions, petition to the president, to the vice president, to the House of Chiefs, to this person, that person. We've been going around behind the scenes trying to see if somebody will see a reason why this bank must come back. And someone in a responsible position said, go to court. So we went to court. 4 years, it took 4 years for a judge to come back and tell us that our issue is with the Ministry of Finance, not with the Bank of Ghana. Hey, Dama. And so we should go to the Ministry of Finance. So we've gone there. We've written to them a demand letter that you owe more than 7.1 billion Ghana cedis. And these are the agencies. And some agency, Getfund, was trying to tell us that, as for them, if they owe you, they don't pay interest. Somebody builds a school for you, you don't pay them, but you pay other people. And then you say that, they should suffer silently. They shouldn't, you won't pay interest. Which country does that? Who will come and pre-finance projects for you? Who will do that? So somebody receives a letter 1 year that says, we have reviewed these people's records, and so far we have found 640 million Ghana cedis that is due them. The same person writes again a few months later and says, what they have here is about 32 million Ghana cedis. And you use that, you stand on it to revoke a license that you have given, even after agreeing to a reclassification. Who does that to anybody? If it was you, would you agree? Would you sit there silently? I sat silently. But I know where we are now in Ghana. I know where we are. So I'm saying this not just for the people who are there. I want all of those other ones who are looking to become president to listen to me. If someone wants a one-on-one discussion, I have all kinds of documents. I have plenty of documents we can show you to prove our point that this bank, GN Bank, will help Ghana, will help develop the hard to get to rural areas, and therefore your administration will succeed through our help. And so some people don't like it, but I'll say it again here, that if you don't give us our license today, this administration, they don't give it. I believe sincerely that the next administration will give us a license. I believe so. And someone is asking, well, what's the state of the branches of the bank after revocation? Hey, also when you are, I was shocked when I went to Pram Pram, when I went to Old Ningo, when I went to New Ningo, and so in some of those places, the walls have collapsed. And one, the door is open. Anybody could walk in. In a couple of places, I think somebody heard that we were coming. So they quickly sent some people to start weeding. Okay? Let's even assume that these buildings belong to the state. Is that how you treat state property? Is that how? But the reality is that those buildings didn't even and don't belong to GN Bank. That's why I say some people, they didn't think through what they did. They just said, oh, GN Bank. So they went and locked it up and walked away. They said, oh, it's Paa Kwesi Nduom, and therefore let him suffer. They didn't think about the people behind this. And look, I'm trying to see if anybody has some questions so that I can answer the question for them. Because you see, somebody says, can this administration be held liable for the losses of GN Bank? I'm not a lawyer, but I know how to count money. I know what dissipation of assets is like. Somebody is going to have to put back what has been destroyed. Somebody. You know, when you destroy something, accept the responsibility. Maybe you made a mistake. That's why I tell the president and Akufo and his administration, if you know you've made a mistake, please go back and correct it and put the things back. That's all that you need to do. Just put the thing back, because we are not about to stop. We are going to present the facts to people and let them see it everywhere. Everywhere I go, we're going to do it. No argument, no insults, no throwing dirt unnecessarily on anybody. No, I'm not like that. But what I have worked for, what other people have worked for, what I have taken money from my pocket to invest in, and a good idea to invest in infrastructure for the state, for the people. And somebody says, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Hey, you travel to America. Who do you think financed the roads and the bridges? It's the investment companies, the finance companies. That's who. There's something called municipal bonds. They take monies from customers, they give it to the municipalities, to the states. And in those municipal bonds, that's what finances infrastructure development in America. So when you come here and you're driving on smooth roads, bridges, airports, that is who. It's the customers. That's what we're trying to do in Ghana. And yet somebody says, why did you do that? They come and enjoy American prosperity, and they don't think that it can be done in Ghana. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. So all of the things that are there, we've got them. We've got them. I know. I'm just trying to see if there's any other question there, and I will answer it before we end in just a few minutes, because I'll be available other times. We're going to go around. So if you hear that I'm going to be here or there, come and ask your questions. We'll answer them for you. It's nothing to hide. It's absolutely nothing. And those people who are in position, I don't have anything against anybody. This is not personal. But it's the jobs and livelihoods of people that is at stake. And there's a time for everything. It's a season for everything. This is the time for us to let all Ghanaians know what had been done. And you see, we all supported GN Bank. All my companies did. So when you collapse GN Bank, it means you're also trying to collapse the other companies. Why? We produce rice. How many people produce rice in Ghana? We wanted to put one in Rabra, which we did. We were building one in Asimbreku, which has stopped. We were going to do one near Wenchi, and then we acquired land in Karaga. All those projects have come to a halt, except for the Rabra one. We produce spoons, plastic spoons. They're very good in Ghana. TV. I come to my house at North Ridge, in Almina, whatever. I use TVs that we assembled, decoders we assembled. Ghanaians, young Ghanaians from KNUST, they did those things. So if you want industrialization in Ghana, why not support the ones in existence? So why bypass them and say you're going to start new ones? Support the ones that are there. What else does anybody want? If some people have gone to America, supported by some people in administration, take me to court in America. They think America is like Ghana. You have facts. I take my facts, you bring your facts. All those things that people filed, they've been ruled upon, gone. And yet we are still in court. And those who are asking, yes, the judge's ruling that said go to Ministry of Finance and didn't want to talk about the money, we filed an appeal. And based on what we saw around the country, we are sending the videos and the photos to the court. Let them see it for themselves. So I'm asking, if you're watching me and you have anything to do with it, just let's sit down. Let's resolve this. Bring the jobs back. Let everybody get their money. Any money that comes, we will pay everybody. We'll pay everybody, because some people said, oh, they paid all GN Savings customers. They didn't. They didn't pay everybody. Somebody lied, whether they lied to the president or whoever else. Well, it didn't happen. And of course, the Black Shield people, they didn't pay them. But there's enough money there to pay them. So somebody, you want to solve this, let's sit down and decide who is owed how much. And you don't want to give me the money, let's pay them. What is left, then let's use it to restore our licenses. That is all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. And I want to thank you once again for joining me today. This will not be the last time. Someone says, will we forward the petition to the presidential candidate of the NDC? Yes, we will. The same petition. We're going to submit it to him. We'll submit it to every presidential candidate. And if they want to sit down with us, we will sit down with them. We'll sit down, explain the circumstances. We have all our documents in order. We have audited statements in order there. And I believe that when they listen to us, they will agree that this GN Bank is one of the entities that is needed to bring the economy of Ghana back. So thank you for listening, and we will have another session. We'll have a session on Group Nduom itself, and then anything else that comes, we will. And anybody who agrees that we should come and talk to them, we will go. Whether it's in administration, people in opposition, business leaders, tertiary institutions, anywhere that we are welcome, we are prepared to spread our message. All we're saying is pay the money. Pay the money to Ghanaian contractors so they too can pay the money, so we can pay the customers. Some have suffered. We're very sorry about that. Some have suffered. It's no, they didn't do anything. They brought us the money believing that we wouldn't put it on the ground and just bury it, but we will lend it so that they get some interest, and we all have something to go home with. They didn't do anything wrong. Let's pay them their money. God bless you. And God bless the Republic of Ghana. Thank you very much for listening and watching.